So hey guys, welcome to another edition of Burton Borders, and in today's video I'll be talking about Todd Boehly and exciting news ahead. So we had some very good news, and for some people, some not so good news. Welcome to the Burton Borders. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah. Alright guys, let's start with the bad news and then work our way up to the good news. It may be good news for some. I know it's going to be bad news for a lot of people who do not like Bruce Buck or Marina Granovskaia, because apparently Todd Boehly has confirmed that these two will be staying on in their roles. Marina I get as a transition, because obviously we've been speaking to a few people before the sanctions came in, so you know, to get somebody else in to try and push our transfers forward. Some people say she doesn't push our transfers forward, she holds them, but that's another thing. But it's I think for the transitional period it'll be good to have her on, but you know, in the long term, we can get a serious director of football and getting somebody who can kind of have a proper roadmap of how we want to play, and you know, give us a playing philosophy, a footballing philosophy at the club, because that's what we badly need. Bruce Buck, I don't know what his purpose is. I've never warmed to this guy at all, so I'm just hoping that he stays again, just a transitional stay until another chairman comes in. But he's an American. Todd Boehly's American. They probably get on, so you know, we'll see what happens. But Marina, I can get it, but Buck, no, sorry, please, he needs to go. Right, so moving on to the good news. So the good news is that Todd Boehly is willing to invest a lot of money to make us competitive this season. He's obviously watched 2 matches, and not very good matches that he's seen. I think, was it the Real Madrid match when we got beat 3-1 and he saw us capitulate when coming 2-0 down, 2-0 up, sorry, and then drawing the game in the last minute. So he's looked at the squad and probably thought, you know what, this squad is not ready to compete with the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City yet. So I need to do something about it, because he likes his teams to be competitive and winning. And apparently when he took over at the Dodgers, he brought in some A-list players, and that's what he's looking to do at Chelsea. He's looking to bring in some A-listers. So he's going to have conversations apparently with Thomas Tuchel to decide on who he wants, because there's a lot of players who are rumoured to be going this season for next at the end of the season, and some players who are coming in. Watch my video I did yesterday. I mentioned some of the players who will probably be on their way out, so I won't labour too much on them. One thing I'd like to caveat though, I mentioned about a bust-up, or potential, that's why I said potential bust-up between Alonso and Tuchel, but apparently the club have come out and said that those stories are not as it was. So I don't know whether it's just the club just trying to safeguard it and you know, just saying that it didn't happen, just they don't want to bring unwanted attention to the club, or whether it was in fact true. But I don't know, so I'm gonna not discuss that any longer. But one thing we do know is he's probably going to go at the end of the season, and his time's up at the club regardless. I think he needs to go. And obviously we know the ones who are definitely out the door. If we can shift a few players out, more players out, then yeah, the deadwood will be gone. But the ones who have been talked about, who Chelsea are interested in, I heard something, I'm not sure how true it is, but I've heard something that the club are already in advanced talks with the 2Ks, Koulibaly and Jules Koundé. We know that Jules Koundé had already agreed terms to come to Chelsea, so that's a pretty easy deal to do, as long as we can agree a fee with his club. Koulibaly, because I think he's in his last year of his contract, he's not going to be too expensive, so we're looking at probably 30 million. Some people say he's a bit too old and past it, but I still think he's a good player. His experience would be invaluable, and I think with those two, we can play a high line, because Koulibaly is still pretty quick. Koundé is extremely quick, so we can play the four at the back if need be, and push up a high line. We've still got Thiago Silva's experience there as well if we want to switch to a 3, so that allows us options to switch to a 3 or 4. Yeah, so those are 2 defenders we're looking at, as well as Gvardiol from RB Leipzig. So I think he's had an injury, but Thomas Tuchel is still keen on him, and he's asked to be kept informed of this injury. And so there's probably a couple of wing backs we're looking at. Cucurella is someone who the fan base would like, but I'm not sure whether the club are looking at him. Grimaldi is one who I'm hearing that the club are interested in. Chouameni, who shares the same agent, in fact, as Jules Koundé, is somebody. And the annoying thing about Jules Koundé is that we could have got him for 40 million last season, and we had apparently agreed terms and everything with him, but only to pull out in the last minute. What a ridiculous situation that is. So now if we want to buy him, we have to pay at least 60 million euro for him minimum. But hopefully, because the terms were agreed, this may be an easy deal to get through, especially in the interest of other clubs like Liverpool and Real Madrid. I'm hoping that he's still being charmed by Tuchel and the plans that we had for him, and still wants to join the club. And there's talk about Dembele, because Dembele, there's a lot of reports going about that he's less likely to stay at Barcelona now, and because he wants to assess the situation at Chelsea and also see whether Mbappe leaves PSG. So he's got those 2 options. He spoke to both clubs, so hopefully, again, because he's worked with Thomas Tuchel and they've got a great relationship, those 2, then that's a possibility as well to come in. So so Tuchel's already said he wanted, obviously, 2 defenders, because we're 2 going out. So if the 2 Ks come in, Koulibaly, Koundé, that would be sorted. Strength and depth in the wide areas. So with Grimaldi or somebody coming in, if Chouameni comes in, then that sorts out like the holding midfield position, and Dembele can play right or left. So he's quite versatile. He's 2-footed. So those are some decent buys. It won't cost a lot of money as well, and those 4 players will improve the side massively. If more players do leave, then it looks like other players will come in. A couple of things actually. A lot of people are saying, okay, but we're on the sanctions, but because these sanctions are now soon going to be removed with the incoming sale, then agents are still talking. Just because we can't make anything formal, there's still discussions between agents. So it's a possibility to say, you know what, we've now sorted out our new owners, we're still interested in you, hold tight, we'll get it all sorted out within a couple of weeks. Once those sanctions are lifted, then we can resume talks. What would be interesting as well for me is to see how these deals move forward. Is it Marina pulling the purse strings, or was it instructions from Abramovic? I know a lot of people are probably not going to like me for saying this, but maybe Abramovic said to her, this is a budget that you need to stick within. So if we can get these deals signed off really quickly, then maybe it's Boehly saying, you know what, I want these deals happening no matter what. He's not going to spend silly money because he's a businessman at the end of the day. But it'll be interesting to see if we are, if he's somebody who's saying, look, we can't mess about. Americans don't really like to mess about. They like to get things done really quickly. And he may instruct her to say that you pull off these deals as soon as possible. We don't want to be waiting last minute to get any of these deals done. We want to give Thomas Tuchel his squad so that he can have a squad going out for pre-season to learn his methods, etc. So we don't want no dilly-dally, no haggling over a price. So yeah, interesting days ahead. So guys, I've mentioned it yesterday, I'll mention it again. Who would you like to see come in? If we could choose defensive options, midfield options, attacking options, who are your preferred players to buy? Just stick your comments in the section below. So there you have it, guys. Don't forget to comment down below, as I said before, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit that like button, share the content, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.